So we've finally received big reveals for the endgame of Borderlands 4, and there is a ton of new information we have received. So I'm going to be doing a bunch of different videos, splitting up all this information and trying to go in depth with each new system or piece of the endgame that we've gotten information on. And in this video, we're going to be going over Ultimate Vault Hunter mode. And this is essentially the most important part of the endgame because pretty much everything else is going to be built upon Ultimate Vault Hunter mode. So this is essentially the end game difficulty scaling, and to unlock the first rank of Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, you have to complete the main campaign on your first character. And keep in mind that completing the main campaign doesn't mean your max level. The developers said you'll be around 30 to 35 when you complete the campaign on your first character, maybe even less if you're a much more hardcore player. So that means you're still going to have 20, maybe more than 20 levels to go after you get in Ultimate Vault Hunter mode. And then once you get into Ultimate Vault Hunter mode and get into Ultimate Vault Hunter rank 1, you will not only unlock a bunch of new systems through this, but this is where your endgame and endgame progression and difficulties is really going to start. Now, the basis of Ultimate Vault Hunter mode is that it's an endgame difficulty that has 5 ranks on launch that you'll keep progressing through, and as you get higher and higher in the ranks of this endgame mode, enemies will become more difficult, they will start to get new traits and potentially like new boss abilities and things like that, but you'll also be getting more experience, more in-game currency in the form of cash and iridium, and you'll be getting better or more loot drops. But these Ultimate Vault Hunter ranks aren't just a thing you go and select in a menu and turn on or off. Once you first get into Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, you'll then have to start to do a bunch of these different objectives to get into the next rank. And these essentially boil down to a bunch of different challenges you have to take on to essentially prove yourself strong enough to get into the next rank. And we got some further information on this from their endgame blog post, but they go on to say, when Borderlands 4 launches, Ultimate Vault Hunter mode will have 5 difficulty levels, which are unlocked incrementally by completing challenges spread across Kairos, and will put your skills and Vault Hunter's builds to the test. Once you've completed enough challenges, you'll face a climactic trial, a wildcard mission, which tasks you with replaying a mission filled with buffed enemies who have a new set of lethal traits. Successfully surviving the absolute chaos of a wildcard mission will unlock the next difficult Ultimate Vault Hunter level, creating a satisfying cycle of increasing your power and taking on tough but fair adversaries. Ultimate Vault Hunter mode is also designed to be welcoming to players of all kinds, as you escalate the increasing difficulty levels at your own pace and take on new challenges whenever you feel ready. So essentially, you'll be doing all of these different challenges across Kairos, and once you've done enough, you'll then do a wildcard mission. Now, there are weekly wildcard missions, which seem to be kind of like these, just the wildcard missions to specifically unlock more ranks of Ultimate Vault Hunter seem to be more set in stone. And the weekly wildcard missions are things everybody does that may have some amount of randomization or other things in them, but the ones you're specifically doing to increase your Ultimate Vault Hunter ranks are going to be set in stone and are specifically designed by the developers to test different things of your build or your playstyle. Like I mentioned, some of them may be like DPS tests, some of them may be more focused on survivability or being able to take out a bunch of enemies with these new lethal traits. So these missions are not only just going to be more health and more damage or something, they're going to be a bunch of buffed up enemies with new actual traits on them. And it also sounds like any of the bosses you'll be going against in these wildcard missions will also have new abilities on them that'll probably interact in some way with the traits that also seem to be on the bosses. So these will probably be pretty difficult and just really interesting new gameplay, taking some of the missions we've already done, but just adding a bunch of new elements into them, making them this really big challenge. Now, a really big element of Ultimate Vault Hunter as an endgame mode is that it will not be increasing the gear score or power level or anything like that of your actual gear. Once you get into Ultimate Vault Hunter mode and start getting gear in rank 1, that gear will be technically as strong as anything you can get in any Ultimate Vault Hunter rank. Now, obviously, you'll still have the different random rolls of gear and all that type of stuff where that'll definitely change the the power of an item, but you won't be going up these endgame ranks and getting more power or more damage on the same item you got in lower ranks. So this means if you get super lucky and get like a best in slot rolled item you're looking for in Ultimate Vault Hunter rank 1, you basically won't be able to upgrade that item even going up to like rank 5, because you're not going to get power increases or item level increases or anything like that. And that's a big thing they specifically wanted to note. They don't want people refarming gear for every rank they go up. And once you get into Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, you will still have access to basically all of the content of the game. So a majority of all the missions, all of the quests, all of the bosses, pretty much everything within the game you'll still have access to just on those higher difficulty modes. And they will obviously be having more scaling, like more health, more damage, but there will also be different traits enemies are getting that'll make it even more difficult in more interesting ways. It sounds like different bosses are going to be getting even fully new mechanics at some points. But then outside of that, it does seem like there is going to be Ultimate Vault Hunter mode specific content. The developers didn't talk a lot about that. They did say there's a bunch of stuff they want to keep under wraps. So presumably there's going to be like new endgame bosses that are specific to the endgame, maybe some new systems specific to the endgame, like new pieces of content in the open world maybe. But there's going to be a lot of content to do as you get into those higher difficulties. And the Ultimate Vault Hunter mode will unlock other systems. Once you complete the main campaign and get into Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, kind of the first and really important things is that you'll now be able to create new characters that are starting in Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, and they'll be level 30. So you get that first character into Ultimate Vault Hunter mode. That character's probably going to be like 30 or 30 plus at that time. You'll just be able to go create other new Vault Hunters and start them at level 30, which is going to be absolutely massive. This is something that Borderlands 3 got like years down the road. This is one of the things that made me so incredibly excited, because I can just get one character to level 50 and go jump on other characters that are already in the end game. And this is essentially a campaign skip. If you go to like Diablo 4 or a bunch of other RPGs, some of them will have campaign skips where you really only have to do the campaign once. It's kind of similar to Borderlands 4 here, except you are also getting a level bump to start at level 30, and level 50 is a max level on launch. So that's going to be incredibly strong. You're also getting specializations, which is essentially the end game skill trees that are the same for all Vault Hunters, and they're shared pretty much across your whole account. So after you get into Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, you unlock specializations, and even if you're not level 50, you'll start to get experience for specializations, as well as getting experience for your normal levels if you're not level 50 yet. And any new character you create will be sharing the same specializations, so they'll have access to all of the same things, and any experience earned on any characters will also be earning experience for specializations for your whole account. And these are going to be really big for endgame build crafting specifically. You will also be unlocking the ability to take firmware off of a piece of gear and put it on another piece of gear. Firmware start to drop to like level 25, so you will be getting it pre-endgame, but once you unlock Ultimate Vault Hunter, you'll then unlock the station that allows you to take firmware off of one item and put it on another item, which are going to be also a really important piece of endgame gearing. So completing the campaign and getting into Ultimate Vault Hunter mode is really the thing that pushes you into the endgame and unlocks all of the different pieces of the end game for gearing, for build crafting, and for more content and getting better and better gear. And this is a pretty similar system to what Diablo 4 launched with, where to get into higher difficulties, you would essentially have a dungeon you would have to go do to get into those higher difficulties. This seems a bit more involved because you have all the different challenges. Then you have that set wildcard mission that is kind of designed around testing you and testing a different part of your build or a different piece of gameplay. So I think this system is probably going to be the best version of endgame difficulty systems we've gotten in the entirety of the franchise. This one actually seems really well thought out, especially with all of the other systems of the game seeming to be well thought out with this system in mind. So I'm really liking what I'm hearing about Ultimate Vault Hunter mode. And also keep in mind, they're going to be continuing to give us more ranks of this. In fact, we're getting the 6th Ultimate Vault Hunter rank before 2026. So it's only going to be a few months after launch of the game. We'll have another rank to go progress through. But that's all I want to go over. So thanks for watching.